This is Radio Nepal. I'm Kaushal Ghimire with the news, the headlines first. Nepal to hold bilateral talks with Switzerland and Rwanda to reach air service agreement. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda holds talks with people's representatives about Bajang earthquake's impact and relief and rescue efforts. Parliamentary Committee instructs government to ensure smooth supplies of daily essential goods during upcoming festivals. And at least 10 dead and 80 missing in floods in the Indian state of Sikkim. Now the news in detail. The government has given permission to the Ministry of Labour, Employment and Social Security to sign bilateral labour agreements with European countries, Germany and Romania. A cabinet meeting held recently took the decision to grant permission for signing labour agreement with Germany and Romania and assigned a delegation led by Labour Minister Sarat Singh Bhandari to participate in the programme in this regard. Government spokesperson and Minister for Communications and Information Technology, Rekha Sharma, informed that the government also permitted to hold bilateral talks on air service agreement with Switzerland and Rwanda. The cabinet also decided to establish bilateral consultation mechanism between foreign affairs ministries of Nepal and Malaysia. Likewise, the cabinet meeting also decided to accept a concessional loan of over 13 billion rupees and grant assistance amounting to $3.84 million from the World Bank for the implementation of Quality Health Service of Nepal. Furthermore, the meeting decided to approve grant assistance worth 5.45 million Swiss francs pledged by the government of Switzerland for implementation of innovation-related projects in Nepal. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda yesterday called a meeting of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority to discuss the earthquakes that jolted Bajang on Tuesday. Issues of earthquake damage, relief and rehabilitation will also be discussed in the meeting called by the Prime Minister today as well. Yesterday, the Prime Minister called the people's representatives and political party leaders from Bajang district and acquired information about the damage caused by the earthquake and the subsequent situation. A 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit Bajang district in western Nepal on Tuesday that killed a person, injured more than a dozen others and damaged hundreds of homes. Meanwhile, the Sudur Paschim province government has announced to bear the treatment expenses of the injured people. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has said that the MCC had opened a new door of economic partnership between Nepal and the United States. At a special program organized yesterday to celebrate the successful implementation of the Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC, Prime Minister Dahal expressed his belief that the successful implementation of MCC projects would help connect Nepal's business network with the countries in Asia with a larger economy, thereby contributing significantly to reduce poverty and ensure economic growth. The Industry, Commerce and Labour and Consumer Interest Committee under the House of Representatives has instructed the government to ensure smooth supplies of daily essential goods during upcoming festivals like Dasai, Tihar and Chhat. A meeting of the committee held yesterday directed the government to add the number of fair price shops, ensure adequate supplies of food to the remote areas and intensify the market monitoring during the festival time. Committee President Abdul Khan said the government had been asked for taking measures to prevent the potential market irregularities such as artificial price rise, food adulteration, black marketing and artificial shortages. A curfew order, though a little loosened, is still on in Nepalganj sub-metropolitan city in Bankhe district. According to the district administration office, 22 people, 5 security personnel and 17 general public were injured during a clash that occurred during the curfew. The Baghé District Administration Office has issued a curfew order for an indefinite period in the submetropolitan city area following religious unrest reportedly emerged from a status on a social media site. The local administration has urged all not to upload or post any content that may jeopardize social and religious harmony. Nepalganj-based political parties, religious leaders, civil society representatives, and the general public have appealed for restoring peace and harmony in the area. Meanwhile, the National Human Rights Commission has issued an appeal urging vigilance against potential activities that could incite communal unrest and disrupt peace within communities. In a press release issued yesterday, the National Human Rights Commission emphasized the importance of respecting the dignity and rights of others while exercising the right to freedom of expression and opinion. The Commission stressed the need for responsible and conscious use of social media platforms. Visiting Speaker of the Australian House of Representatives, Milton Dick, paid a courtesy call on Speaker Debraj Kimire yesterday. During the meeting held at Singh Durbar, they exchanged views on parliamentary practices in both countries and promotion of bilateral relations. On the occasion, Speaker Kimire stressed enhancing democratic norms, values, practices, and institutions in Nepal and Australia by exchanges of parliamentary visits. Speaker of the Australian House of Representatives, Dick, underscored on building relations between the two countries at people's level. Likewise, Australian Speaker and National Assembly Chairperson Ganesh Prasad Timilsina also held a courtesy meeting yesterday. They discussed matters of parliamentary practices. Nepal has been elected the Vice Chair of the Asia-Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development AIBD Executive Board. The AIBD, consisting of 44 nations from the Asia-Pacific region, elected a 10-member committee during its 21st General Conference and 48th Annual Gathering, which concluded in Mauritius yesterday. Nepal will serve a 2-year term as the Vice Chair of the AIBD Executive Board, with Nepal Television representing Nepal in this capacity. Prior to this, Radio Nepal had represented Nepal as a member of the AIBD Executive Board. During the event, Thailand was elected as the chair of the Executive Board, and India was chosen as the President of the General Conference. Representing Nepal in the conference were Executive Director of Radio Nepal, Buddhi Bahadur Kesi, and Chair of Nepal Television, Samir Jung Saha. You're listening to Radio Nepal's 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. Now on to an international update. At least 80 people are missing, including 22 army personnel in the northeastern Indian state of Sikkim. 10 have already been confirmed dead in Sikkim after a cloud burst triggered massive flash floods. The burst occurred in the upstream of a lake in the north of the state, which resulted in an alarming rise in water in the Tista River in Lachen Valley. The situation worsened further after more water was released from a nearby dam into the river. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today. According to the Meteorological Forecasting Division, the weather will be partly to generally cloudy throughout the country. Light to moderate rain with thunder and lightning is likely to occur at a few places of the country. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news bulletin, but before wrapping up, let's have a reminder of the headlines once again. Nepal to hold bilateral talks with Switzerland and Rwanda to reach air service agreement. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda holds talks with people's representatives about Bajang earthquake's impact and relief and rescue efforts. Parliamentary Committee instructs government to ensure smooth supplies of daily essential goods during upcoming festivals. And at least 10 dead and 80 missing in floods in the Indian state of Sikkim. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.onlineradionepal.gov.np. Keep listening to Radio Nepal and have a good day.